Another issue in setting a retail position is location. As they talk in real estate, the three most important things in real estate are location, location, location. And the deal is you want to put the store near where the customer shops. So if it's a convenience store or a grocery store, those are generally located near where people live in residential areas. A lot of times you'll see them in smaller strip malls because people tend to shop for drugstore, grocery store, dry cleaner at the outlet that's closest to their home. Or perhaps if there's something really convenient on the way home from work, on, off. But generally people shop closest to home. For shopping goods, when I want to have an assortment and look for alternatives, I will go to a destination. This is why malls have so many shoe stores. Is the reason that people come to malls is to be able to look at more than one store. So people will go for shopping goods where I want to do some comparison, where I want to do some thinking about the products. I will go to where I can find the products. Many cities have a central business district, the financial district, downtown, whatever you want to call it. Businesses there tend to be business focused. I have a great lunch crowd, but not much for dinner. Many times they're closed after business hours, and I'll find office supplies, I'll find business services, transcription services. Probably wouldn't find a party store. Because, again, trying to put the stores where the customers are rather than making the customers come to you, unless you're Cabela's, which is a gigantic sporting goods store that builds their stores in the middle of nowhere and knows that customers will drive tens and 20s of miles just to get there. Another issue is whether you have together or freestanding stores. We talked about shopping centers. This is a retail concept that is on the decline. The regional mall is decaying because the anchor stores are traditional retailers that are struggling to compete. And some of the name brand clothing stores, which are the mainstay of regional malls, are also under pressure. So we're finding those are closing. The exception is the super regional malls like the Westfield Center, where it's a destination and it's such an attraction that people will come. But it's the regional malls that are located outside of larger urban areas that are really struggling right now. Strip malls are a place to put a lot of convenience stores. And again, those are where you find your grocery, drugstore, retailer, liquor store, pet store, just the kinds of things that I would want to have near to my home. The other alternative is to have a freestanding store. And if you have a freestanding store, then your store brand has to be strong enough to attract customers. So we talked about Cabela's, where it's a sporting goods store. People will drive tens of miles to get to a Cabela's. I used to live in Toledo, and they built a Cabela's in Dundee, Michigan, which was 40 miles away because land was cheap. And it's doing a great business. There's a whole retail complex has grown up around the Cabela's. There's hotels now so that people can drive there and spend the night and just entertainment venues, but it's become a destination. One retail format that is on the decline is the big box retailer or the big box center. And those used to be miles of paved parking lot. You would have a gigantic Home Depot next to a Best Buy, next to a Target, next to a Party Supply Warehouse, next to a Staples, you'd have a whole bunch of big box retailers located in this huge, looks like industrial park. The idea was that you could come for the experience, but you have to go store to store. Again, that's a concept that appears to be on the decline. Oops. The other thing I want to talk about is with shopping goods, this may seem counterintuitive, but it's actually better to locate your store near the competition, even next to the competition, than to have it separate by yourself. So for example, when you shop for a car, you go to the auto mall, right, where there's dozens of dealers right next to each other, or you go to the furniture row. And the idea is that by locating near my competition, I create assortment, I create a variety for the customer, so I increase traffic for all stores. So the idea is if I locate next to my competitor, the two stores together will get more traffic than either store would have gotten alone. So it's kind of counterintuitive that it doesn't make sense to locate next to the competition because I want to create my own identity, but for shopping goods, for goods where it's important for customers to compare, by locating next to a competitor, you make it a destination, and it's a win-win situation. You both get more business than you would have had you had your own locations. And last thing in positioning is advertising. So you've created your store image, you've designed the customer experience, you've got the store laid out, you've got your pricing set, you've got your atmospherics in place. You open your doors and crickets. So you got to get people into the store. So advertising it's your opportunity to explain what the customer experience is going to be. If it's a discount store, you'll probably be talking about the bargains to be had. If it's a high-end store, you'll probably be talking about the experience that you will have shopping there. And there's two kinds of advertising, or two goals of advertising. And again, in retail, the goal of advertising is to get traffic, and traffic is just people into the store. In entertainment, they call that butts and seats. In retail, they call it traffic. And so sometimes I am reaching out to first-time shoppers where I'm making an offer or a claim in the advertising that would be of interest to people who are going for the first time. And the measure of success would be, of course, whether I get new customers. And then I might have advertising that's to encourage repeat business. Again, just trying to build loyalty. I think that's all I have to talk about today. If there are no questions, and I know they're not, I will see you Tuesday.